Chapter 30. It was dark nowadays when Dell got home to the gardens of Glenwood. The only greenery in the apartment complex was in the courtyard, and that was in a circular patch of red volcanic chips that hurt Dell's feet even when he wore thick-soled shoes and was just trying to take a shortcut to the always strange-smelling stairwell. The pumice rock minefield was dotted with stubborn weeds armed with sharp thistles, which poked up through the cheap layer of thin black plastic under the brick-colored lava bits. The thorns caught Dell's exposed, fleshy ankles and drew dots of blood. There were no natural glens in all of Bakersfield. It was a flat, dry place made green only by sprinkler systems. Maybe that was why so many apartment complexes around town were named for ferns and wet wooded sanctuaries. It was an expression of the yearning of the moisture-challenged climate. At least that's what Willow had told him when she had first asked where he lived, and he responded, he had to admit, with puffy pride, the gardens of Glenwood. Now he took the stairs to his second-floor unit because the elevator, which was required by law, never worked. Dell tried, in desperation, to add up the events of the long and challenging month. A week after the accident, as he had predicted, his supervisor asked to see his file on Willow Chance. Dell may have found the missing kid on the day she left Mercy Hospital, but he wasn't a hero for very long. Now, weeks later, he was afraid. He could admit that, at least to himself. He had given Willow practice exams in everything from the required 3-hour test for application to medical school to 14 of the SAT Subject 2s, and she had aced them all. But he had made the decision not to hand those materials over. What he sent to his boss was a simple electronic form that revealed next to nothing about the girl. Somehow he'd been caught up in so many layers of deception. Willow Chance wasn't a cheater. Patty Nugent wasn't an old family friend. The Nugents didn't live in the gardens of Glenwood. Why couldn't they use their own address? He didn't homeschool her, like he was supposed to do, and he had never been committed to being any kind of counselor. Willow walked from the nail salon to the district offices on Tuesdays. She was always on time. Instead of taking tests or analyzing the stock market, the two now sat in silence. Dell tried to think of things to motivate her, or at the very least ease her distress, but so far he had been a failure. Yesterday Willow had come in and for 55 minutes, which seemed like 55 hours, Dell worked on a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of bowls of jelly beans. Willow didn't place a single piece, but he knew she wasn't trying, and he was really bad at puzzles, so it was a struggle in all ways. After she had gone, Dell opened his computer and wrote up a report. He knew now that he was being observed, and if there was one thing Del Duke understood, it was that he didn't do well under scrutiny. He had made a mistake by ever getting involved with the genius kid, because it was a lot easier to do his job and not care about anything, and now he cared about everything. Patty Nugent hadn't enrolled in any of the necessary classes for foster parenting, and she didn't go to the one group session that had been offered. She intended to, but somehow more than 4 weeks had passed, and she had yet to do more than check in with Lenore Cole, who was Willow's social worker. In the darkness of an autumn sky pressed in through the glass of the salon, Patty looked down at her calendar. Our hearing had been set in family court, and a judge would make a determination about Willow in the next 2 months. But Patty decided that today wasn't the time to think about the future. Today was the day to order more shades of red nail polish. She found the new catalog from her most reliable supplier and circled the shade that she thought Willow would approve of. It was called Well Red. Just doing that made Patty feel marginally better.